Very shocking news. Loudly crying faced Jungkook's hidden tears. Loudly crying faced the heartbreaking truth behind his smile. In the velvet darkness of a silent Seoul midnight, while the world sleeps in comfort, a single light often flickers in a lonely dance studio. Behind that glass, a young man pushes his body until it screams, his lungs burning for air that feels too thin to breathe. To the world, this is Jungkook, the global icon who commands the heartbeat of millions. But before the stadiums and the diamond certifications, there was a boy from Busan who carried a burden far too heavy for a 15-year-old soul. This is not just a story of fame. This is a journey through the shadows of self-doubt, the pain of a stolen childhood, and the silent tears of a boy who had to grow up before he learned how to live. This is the raw, human heart of Jungkook. The journey began in the quiet coastal air of Busan, where a young Jungkook dreamed of a life larger than the one he knew. While many children were playing in the streets, Jungkook was already feeling the weight of expectation. His family faced their own battles, and various media sources suggest that the financial uncertainty of those early years left a mark on his young mind. Jungkook wasn't born with the confidence he wears today. He was a shy, introverted child who found it difficult to look people in the eyes. At the age of 15, Jungkook stood before judges at a talent show, only to face the cold sting of rejection. He was told he had no emotion. He was told he was just another face. Imagine the silent walk home, the crushing feeling of being told your passion is hollow. Yet, 7 different agencies saw a spark. Jungkook chose the smallest, most uncertain path because he saw something in a rapper named RM. He traded his family's embrace for a cramped dormitory and a future that felt like a gamble. The trainee years were a brutal landscape of physical and emotional exhaustion. Jungkook was the youngest, a mogne in a world of giants. While his peers back home were attending school and making memories, Jungkook was scrubbing floors, practicing choreography for 15 hours a day, and skipping meals to keep his slender frame. The mental toll was staggering. Various media sources and early documentaries suggest that Jungkook suffered from a profound sense of inadequacy. He looked at the other members and felt he was the one holding them back. He was a boy who missed his mother so much that he would hide in the bathroom to cry, muffling his sobs so the older members wouldn't hear his weakness. He was a child who had to learn how to be a man while his bones were still growing. The fear of being the weak link became a ghost that followed Jungkook into every rehearsal, every recording, and every sleepless night. There was a moment in the early years when the world almost lost the Jungkook we know today. According to various media reports and past interviews, the pressure of the idol life became so suffocating that Jungkook considered walking away. He felt like he was losing his identity, becoming a product rather than a person. He struggled with the realization that he didn't know who he was outside of a stage outfit. He felt like a bird in a golden cage, singing for a world that didn't see the bars. The self-doubt was a poison. Jungkook once looked at his own reflection and felt like a stranger. He questioned if he was truly talented or just lucky. It was during these dark nights of the soul that Jungkook almost chose to return to the quiet life in Busan, to leave the noise and the pain behind. But he stayed. He stayed because he couldn't bear to leave his brothers, and he stayed because he realized that his voice was the only bridge he had to a world that finally listened. Even as the global fame reached a fever pitch, the shadows grew longer. Success didn't erase the pain, it only gave it a larger stage. Verified interviews and lyrics from his solo work hint at a man who has battled profound burnout and the crushing weight of loneliness. Jungkook has spoken about feeling like a small person in a world that demands he be a god. The isolation of being at the top is a unique kind of agony. He has spent weeks alone in his apartment, the silence a deafening contrast to the screams of 60,000 fans. Fans often cite his song, Still With You, as a window into this loneliness, a letter to the people who love him, written from a place of deep yearning. Various media sources suggest that the transition to a solo career brought back many of the old anxieties. The fear of being not enough returned with a vengeance. He worked until he collapsed, obsessed with a perfection that is impossible for any human to achieve. Why does the world hold Jungkook in such high regard? It is not just the voice or the dance. It is the humanity he refuses to hide. People love Jungkook because he is the star who bows 90 degrees to a camera crew after a 12-hour shoot. They love him because he is the man who stays up until dawn on a live stream just to tell his fans that they are the reason he breathes. He has sacrificed his privacy, his youth, and his peace to be a light for others. He has used his platform to speak about mental health and the importance of self-love, even when he struggled to love himself. He is the artist who will stop a performance to check on a fan in the front row, a man whose kindness isn't a PR strategy, but a core part of his being. He has carried the dreams of an entire generation on his shoulders without ever complaining about the weight. The professional achievements of Jungkook are verified by the records of history. As of 2025, various media sources indicate that Jungkook has become the most successful solo artist in K-pop history on global platforms like Spotify. His debut album, Golden, shattered records that had stood for decades. According to financial reports and media estimates, Jungkook's net worth is in the tens of millions, and his influence has generated billions for the global economy. He has performed at the World Cup, won MTV Video Music Awards, and dominated the Billboard Hot 100 like no other soloist before him. But for Jungkook, these are just numbers. He has often stated that he would give it all away if it meant he could just keep singing for one person who needed to hear it. Looking toward the future, Jungkook dreams of a life where he can finally find the balance between the icon and the man. He dreams of a future where his music continues to evolve, transcending genres and expectations. He wants to be an artist who is remembered for his sincerity rather than his fame. Jungkook's goal is to become a giant in the world of music, someone who can offer shelter to those who are lost in the dark. He plans to continue his military service and return with a new perspective, a more matured soul ready to face the next chapter of his life. He dreams of a world where he can be free to love, to create, and to simply be Jungkook. As the music fades and the lights dim, we are left with the image of a man who gave up his childhood so we could find our joy. We see a boy who fought through the rejection, the exhaustion, and the loneliness to become a beacon of hope. Jungkook is a reminder that beauty is born from fire, and that the most brilliant stars are the ones that have known the deepest dark. He is a testament to the power of the human spirit to endure, to grow, and to remain kind in a world that is often cruel. Now, as you think of the name Jungkook, don't just see the trophies or the records. See the 15-year-old boy crying in a bathroom. See the man who practices until his bones ache. See the soul that chose to stay when it would have been easier to leave. We respect Jungkook not because he is perfect, but because he is real. We love him because he showed us that it's okay to be afraid, as long as you keep moving forward. The journey of Jungkook is far from over, but he has already changed the world simply by refusing to let his light go out. May we always honor the sacrifice behind the smile, and may we always remember the boy from Busan who dared to reach for the stars.